Welcome to the FHA Software video training series. This is Dwayne Tinsley with Simply Computer Software. This video we're going to do is a program overview of the entire FHA software program. So let's get to it. So you click on the icon, enter your user ID and password, and up pops the main window of the FHA software program. Pull downs. Our program is pull downs, RD, HUD, tax credit, reports, accounting, data, utilities. We have a dashboard, and of course help. So basically the RD pull down, any and everything that has to do with rural development compliance. So that would include your certifications, your project worksheet. We have a built-in tenant and rent analysis that tells you how your project's doing compliance-wise with rural development. It helps assign rental assistance. We have your handbooks, anything to do with MINC, electronic submissions of your tenant changes and your budgets. We can import from XML files created by your software vendor. So switching software, all we need is baseline XML files from your software vendor. Within a couple clicks, all those certifications are automatically part of your FHA software program. So very simple process to switch software. Financial reports, so your project budget, your balance sheet, reserve authorization requests. We provide a rural development chart of accounts set that you can copy, you can add to, remove from, customize it any which way you want, but you don't have to start from scratch. And then we have a feature, it's an RD chart of account associations that helps the program identify where to get the amounts to fill in on your financial forms. Bank balance summaries, management fee calculations. So that's rural development. HUD, basically the same thing. Certifications, vouchering, so doing your vouchers, which includes special claims processing, repayment agreements, miscellaneous accounting, okay, and doing, of course, your voucher. Access income report, race and ethnicity reports, tenant and rent analysis, same thing. It validates HUD compliance with your project. Income targeting report, your handbook, so your HUD handbook is part of the program. Tracks, anything that has to do with electronic submission to and from the track system is in this area. And we've got a feature called IMAX Communications that actually does the file transfer to and from. And so HUD financial reports. If you're a 100% HUD project, your financial reports are provided, again with a HUD chart of accounts set and associations to identify them with, along with bank balance summaries and management fee calculations. Low-income housing tax credit, same thing, certifications, reviewing changes to tenant status, how you doing in your processing of tenant changes, move-ins, move-outs, transfers, search, things like that. Maximum rent reports, tax credit analysis to validate tax credit compliance is in that feature. Your guide, your 8823 form. And then these are basically all the ways of getting and uploading your information to your state housing finance agencies. The most common form or file layout is the data transfer standard, and we keep up with that. And I believe at the time of this video we'll be adding the 6.0 XML file. And so that's that. And unit number conversion utility, it helps, it will match your unit numbers for all your projects on who you have to submit to. So that's tax credit reports. Doesn't matter what your subsidy type is. We provide recertification notice processing and keep track of it. Recertification expiration reports, rent registers, utility refund report that validates if your tenants are eligible for utility reimbursements or refunds. Occupancy reports, move-in, move-out reports that show occupancy status for any time frame. Gross rent potentials, race and ethnicity reports, and a user-defined tenant summary. It's a quick way of getting a list of, let's say, phone numbers, birth dates, things like that. It's a very easy way to get that without having to customize some sort of report. Accounting's built in, so you don't have to, we don't have any modules, we don't have to export, import. Accounting is built in. You move in a tenant by activating a certification, the accounting's automatically aware of it. Likewise, tenant rent is automatically charged. You don't have to do anything extra, and the program knows what to charge each of your tenants at any given time. So you can do, you're not locked in time. You can do future and past reports, and the program always knows what the rent rates will be for all your tenants. So the top section is setting up the program, accounting defaults, charge codes. We got payment alerts, bank accounts, vendors, chart of accounts. And then you got sections where you're doing actually data entry. So AR, accounts receivable, tenant payment entry. Anything your tenants would ever pay you for is done in this feature. Recurring tenant charges. So the program automatically charges monthly recurring tenant rent, but it also can recur other monthly charges, like if your tenants pay for cable TV or a parking space and things like that. So you can set that up in that feature. Journal entries, check disbursement entry is basically where you enter your payables. And then check printing process, where you print your checks, voiding checks, reconciling your bank statements. And then we've got tons of financial statements, bank balance summaries, balance sheets, all sorts, operating statements, general ledger, batch and deposit reports, check register, vendor ledger, 1099 processing. Tenant reports, same thing, tons of rent roll. We got summaries and details of all of these, age receivables, rent statements, tenant ledger, delinquent rent, all the security deposit related reports, help calculating interest on refunds. Actually processing refunds is done automatically with statements that can show what you're keeping, what they're forfeiting, things like that. Entering historical security deposits, so you basically decide, if you use the accounting program, what your accounting start date's going to be. That's when the program will start charging the rent, and then basically you can enter what security deposits you've got are already holding prior to the accounting start date. Very simple process to get your project up and running. Certificate of rent paid for each of the states that are applicable. And then you got some utilities, being able to close your batches, closing your months, things like that. Data, unit data maintains occupancy. You activate a move-in, unit data is automatically aware you have a new tenant, what to charge and rent, and then it keeps track of when they're due to recertify next and things like that. So unit data is a very important part of the program. Project data, your rent rates, your income limits, name and addresses of your property, your payee, bank information, your borrower, your management agent, and your site manager. All the setup for your project is in project data. We've got waiting lists, address books, work orders, unit inventory, purchase orders, tenant applicant screening. We are partners with and integrate with several online PeopleFax VeriScreen. We're adding one called AccuTrack at the moment, so we'll have a fourth one there in the future that allows you to directly interface and get background checks on your tenants or your applicants. Security data, we have a feature that will communicate with people that monitor security for your sites, and it keeps them advised as to who should or shouldn't be at your projects. Gross rent and utility allowance changes. The program, with just a few mouse clicks, will totally implement a gross rent change for your entire project. And very simple, very good feature. Multi-property directories in our program. You can do things for one project at a time or incorporate groups of projects that you want to report for, do data entry for, and things like that. So this is where you would create your property grouping so that you can then do reports or consolidate and things like that throughout the program for your properties. Tenant applicant search feature to find people you don't necessarily know where they live or what project they're in or what their unit number is. You can search for tenants and applicant information. Utilities. You have a built-in data backup restore feature. You can reindex and optimize your database to keep it efficiently running and fast. And a utility that will allow you to restore old backups of projects so that they can be viewed in newer versions of the program. We've got editors, text editor, custom report designer, MS Word designer. You can customize your forms using MS Word, and our program will fill them out and print them from our program. Custom layout, balance sheets, operating statements, things like that can be customized as well. We have a dashboard feature. I'll show you that. The dashboard feature on one screen allows you to see a summary of a lot of things: occupancy, waiting list, how am I doing on certifications, project information, work orders, accounting, and so you can see it all on one screen. And like vacant units, I got 5. If I click on the plus button, it will show me the 5. I got 4 vacant, and I got Melvin Clark that gave me his notice that he intends to vacate. So basically, I will have 5 vacancies. If you want more detail, you can click on Go, and it takes you to the feature that will provide that more detailed information. So it's kind of a cool feature. You can print this out, and any and everybody can see this. You can customize who can or cannot see it. So help topics. Our help topics takes up more space on your hard drive than the program actually takes, because you've got a lot of step-by-steps, and you've also got the details with help screens, sample screens, definitions of everything that's on a screen. So help topics. Updates. Our program, you tell it when to get an update. It's not just going to react every time it senses you're on the internet. You tell it when to do it. Password protection allows you to restrict any user that logs into the program on what they can and cannot do in the program. Product support. You can go right to our website. You can see more detail about your package registration information. So basically, that's our FHA software program, and it's a good program. This was good. It's brief, but we do have other training videos that will provide a lot more detail. So monitor our video training series page for more FHA software related feature details. And if there's anything else we can do for you, please contact us. Other than that, thanks again for looking over the program.